Hi, everybody. I gotta say, we are not in good shape right now. We have been going all week long celebrating our 50th anniversary, and dang! But we have crawled all the way over here to bring you another video.
All the way from the south end.
All the way from the south end.
We couldn't even afford the bus. Or the light rail. We tried to get on the light rail, but they kicked us off. Those cops are actually...
They catch you sometimes.
They do. They really do. You know, But... for those of you who can afford the light rail that come from the south end, please come. It is Wednesday as usual, New Comic Day, for our 51st episode.
We've persevered to bring you all these wonderful comics.
Absolutely. And we will start with Mr. Morgan.
Yes, I bring you issue 2 of The Star Wars. Highly demanded by you.
That's right.
This is the original George Lucas screenplay. And not only do we have the second issue, we also got in the first one. For you! Because you asked! We listen!
And Dark Horse has copies.
That too.
Which is,
a lot of copies.
Yeah, a lot of copies.
They were prepared for this.
Yes, Dark Horse is one of the few companies that will actually buy and print multiple copies for something, unlike most Marvel comics. Let's start off here. Some psychedelic Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
Marvel Knight Spider-Man, brought to you by Matt Kint of Mind Management fame and of I'm Writing a Lot of DC Comics fame.
Yes, a whole lot.
A whole lot of DC Comics. And Marco Rudy, who recently I think was filling out on some Swamp Thing.
Yeah,
I want to say.
He's been all over the place.
Yeah,
He did some work at Boom Studios.
He did work at Boom Studios. But, you know, much like the movie The Raid or Judge Dredd, this is, you know, it's a video game plot where Spider-Man is plopped into a warehouse with 99 bad guys. I will refrain from any kind of 99 problem jokes right here. But yeah, and he has to beat the crap out of them. And you're like, oh cool, this is going to be a fun battle book. You know, this is more like, wow, I didn't know Spider-Man took drugs and had really, really, really strange trips that ended up with looking at Arcade face-to-face and coming across, like, Bernie Wrightson crosshatch Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, there's Frankenstein in the Spider-Man comic. It's awesome.
And it's really done like Bernie Wrightson. Wow. Holy crap, yeah. But this is really surreal. I mean, half of there aren't even any panels in this comic. I mean, they're just, it's like J.H. Williams, very strange J.H. Williams on this. But yeah, you know, it's different, fun Spidey, which, you know, if you're tired of Doc Ock Spidey.
And they've got a lot of really, it says Peter Parker, and it has all the classic Peter Parker villains, but they have some really, really cool looking redesigns going on. It's the start of Marvel Now's Marvel, I guess, kind of now, the reinvigoration of Marvel Knights, which was, of course, their old mature readers' line before they did Max. But another creepy-looking book here from DC Vertigo. This is the Witching Hour one-shot. They've been doing the Unexpected, Ghosts, all those. They've moved on to the Witching Hour, another of their 70s anthology books. This is
Halloween.
Like, they've really bulked these up too, because the earlier ones was kind of like, okay, this is cool, this is real cool, but it's a bit skimpy. They got like 8, 9 stories in here. There's awesome art from a variety of great artists. Cliff Chiang, who's been a bit absent from Wonder Woman recently, has a cool Mars story in there, very Twilight Zone-y.
Cool. And those, you know, anthologies are always great because they throw in new artists, and that's usually like when artists come into DC or Marvel, they'll give them like those kind of books to try out on, and it's nice to see new talent.
If you want to see what the big new thing is going to be.
That's right. That's right.
Ooh.
Batman as Jesus by Jim Steranko.
With ants. I'm
That's
not quite
right.
sure what the story on that is. It's horrifying, but...
This is the second issue of Batman Black and White, which is the much-loved anthology throughout the years of awesome, badass Batman stories by artists and writers that can't keep a monthly schedule. This issue features J.G. Jones. I can't finish anything for my life. And then... probably the coolest thing, and I'm sure you guys saw it on the interwebs maybe like 6 months ago, Raphael Grompa Joker.
Yeah!
That's right. There's like 8 pages of Raphael Grompa.
And the twist in that story is...
It looks amazing. And then you got Dave Bullock at the end, Raphael Albuquerque.
Double dose of Raphael there.
It's very nice. Very nice.
Now, if we had a Turtles book this week, that would be a triple dose.
But you know, but the thick neck muscles can only do 1 week, man. You can't do weeks with thick muscles.
And Marvel has the first of 3 new specials coming out with the Arms of the Octopus story. Oh, Dr. Octopus is back for revenge, but wait, isn't he Spider-Man? Oh, weird.
Oh, wait, I bet you there's like a movie or something coming up, maybe. Oh, I don't know. Maybe they'd have to reset continuity again.
But all joking aside, this is all new X-Men Special #1, drawn entirely by superstar artist Chris Anka. And I do say superstar artist totally unironically, because
we're gonna give him superstar designer. Yeah, I mean, if there's one man that owes the internet his job, it's Chris Anka. And, you know, I don't say this in any bad way, this stuff looks fantastic.
Looks great.
But yeah, it's really nice to see him doing actual comics, and colors by who else? Jordi Belair, because, you know, is anybody else doing color these days? I don't think so.
And be on the lookout for Indestructible Hulk and Superior Spider-Man specials #1 and #1. Not quite sure which one's coming out first, but they'll be there.
They will. Ooh. To get you more in the horror mood, more of Craig I don't know. These beautifully designed, reasonably priced, $25 hardcovers of gloriously bloody and pulpy and nasty horror comics. Brought to you by Jack Cole. Jack Cole is, I mean, I don't know. What do we need to say about Jack Cole? That he was friggin' amazing? That he created Plastic Man?
Just saying that he created Plastic Man, it doesn't really lend enough of an idea of how great he really was.
It's hard, you know? You look through these things and you have the corpse that would not die, the man who died twice. I mean, the friggin' setup pages for these are better than half the comics that are on the rack.
Yeah, I mean, this is what was mined for all of Tales from the Crypt. The 90s series, all that stuff, Absolutely. This is where it came from.
So yeah, you know, if you're, you know, if your dad or you know somebody, you know, is a little older than you that's really strange and weird because he read horror comics as a kid, well, you think Walking Dead was bad. Nah, nothing.
And DC has also got the second issue of Forever Evil this week. Continuing DC's real crossover event of 2013, the Crime Syndicate is back and they are messing everyone up. This issue, the Teen Titans. And since the first issue of the New 52 Teen Titans, haven't you wanted to see them get the crap slapped out of them? I mean, come on.
Yes. And there are no lenticular covers this week.
September is over.
We're just going to get that out of the way. There is a flat cover for this, and that's it. Nothing else.
Well, multiple flat covers.
Multiple flat covers, but we're back to regular flat covers. Thank you. What was, at one point, astonishing Captain America has now become Captain America Living Legend, brought to you by Andy Diggle and Adi Granov. Adi Granov is the guy who did Extremis about 7 years ago, which was amazing, and then never really did comics again for about 4 years because he just made lots of money doing designs for the movies. But he's the man who's responsible for most of the designs in the first Iron Man movie. But yeah, this is kind of... It's slightly out of continuity, not really based on the movie per se, but definitely more of an updated version than your average Captain America. But it's Adi Granov. Sequentials, doing like 25 pages. There's spacesuits, and there's Nazis.
Spacesuits, tanks, wartime adventure.
Oh, and Soviet nuclear missiles.
Yeah.
Can you go wrong? Not really. Andy Diggle's known for The Losers, which is great, big, action, fun. It's a 4-issue mini. Again, Adi Granov, back to comics, very happy.
And Dark Horse has a couple great things out this week, one of which being the 4th issue of Joe Casey's Catalyst comics, which I just got around to catching up to the issues before this. It blew my mind completely. I feel like I say that about every Joe Casey comic, and you're like, oh, well, it's just gonna be another Joe Casey comic. All it is gonna be cool art, great colors, some awesome existentialism, and you're like, oh, wait, that's everything I need in my superhero comics.
And giant fist to the face.
Yes.
Because, you know, it's not a superhero comic unless you punch your problems. I mean, that's really, I don't know how else you define a superhero comic. So, as we talked earlier last week, Henry and Glenn #2 was kind of missing from our 1 and 3s. No fear, though. We have #2 this week. Slight mishap with the ordering. It's okay. But this is just as awesome as #3. In fact, maybe almost more awesome. We have Glenn Danzig yelling about his mom looking like Demon Etrigan here in the opening. And you have him riding a bat saying, "Evil lives!" on the back. And, oh my god. Yeah, brought to you by Igloo Tornado, which is a very intelligent group of comic artists that, you know, choose to remain nameless, because this is smut. This is, you know, you get arrested for this. But yeah, Henry and Glenn, roommates, lovers, warriors.
Speaking of warriors and war and endless war. Oh, this is Warren Ellis. Oh my god, I didn't even notice. Warren Ellis's Avengers Endless Wartime. The first of Marvel's new line of graphic novels.
Oh my god.
This is drawn by Mike McCone.
And guaranteed to be grittier than any DC comic on the racks.
Yes. It's nothing but war. Just like Warhammer.
Designed by Rhiannon Hughes, who actually last week had a book called Soho Divas come out, which was a collection of his sketches of London burlesque. It was actually really cool. Awesome. Rhiannon Hughes is an amazing designer.
As well as a traditional artist.
As well as a traditional artist.
Just an actual artist in the comics field.
Yeah, in the comics field. But yeah, this is the first in a line of Marvel's new original graphic novels, OGNs. They're a little bit bigger, a little bit thinner, but you know, not bad, shiny, full story, self-contained, not based on movie continuity, but then again, good for new readers. So, what else we got here? That's right. If you know what I'm talking about, good. If not, go home and watch Danger Diabolic Video Monkey. Anyway, Fantomex Max #1, brought to you by Andrew Hope and Sean Crystal. Sean Crystal most recently filling in for Kyle Baker on Deadpool Max, which was a really funky style because you're kind of following Kyle Baker,
which is really difficult to do.
But the X-Men's #1 international man of mystery. I guess before he was cut into 3 different beings.
Yeah,
one that, you know,
It's in that nice little pocket of not quite continuity that all the best comics are.
Yeah, exactly. But he's got David Cronenberg Existenz guns. He's fighting mechs. There are amazing, amazing sound effects in here in Sean Crystal. Who's doing VC's Joe Sabina? But yeah, you know, all together with a great 60s swinging kind of Francavilla cover. 4 issues. Max, which means there will be boobies.
Another book sporting an awesome Francavilla cover over here.
And a large amount of boobies.
Yeah! Wow, what a common here.
Actually, right?
This is Grindhouse, Doors Open at Midnight #1, featuring Bee Vixens from Mars, which, you know, is exactly what it sounds like.
If we gotta explain that to you... Really?
There's a badass lady sheriff with an eye patch and a big gun. There are guts, there are bees, there are babes. It's...
And there's dirty parts by page 3, our panel 3, man. I mean, come on.
Not even page 3.
Not even page 3. Do we get through everything here? I think so.
We've
about. Also got, just in time for Halloween, the new, very sporty, very shiny Corvallis mask. This comes with the first trade of Batman, written by Scott Snyder, art by Greg Capullo, probably the best selling of the new DC 52.
Oh, by far.
$25 gets you I think the soft cover is about $15-16, plus you get the mask.
And we know you've already got a great suit to go along with it, because only the classiest of individuals will be purchasing this mask.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, it's definitely, you could reenact your own weird Stanley Kubrick movie. It would be really interesting and very bizarre, but you probably wouldn't want to show it to anybody else. We got any merch this week? Oh, we got some badass Batman 66 green tees with the cool Batman logo. Got some Star Wars tees. And to basically burn into your brain the coolest of cover of the weeks. Like, I don't know if we've had a cooler cover of the week. I showed this to Morgan earlier, and it comes, you know, it's like, are you ready, Morgan? He's just like, oh, sure. It's like, no.
He warned me.
Prepared. And again, Morgan was not prepared. But we will show you. From Ulysses Farinas, the man who's doing the 3rd story in Catalyst Comics, comes Captain America in space, maybe, versus Moloids that are MODOK Moloids, mech Moloids,
Communist Moloids.
And the best part, a Mega Kitty cannon that shoots small little rockets piloted by little kitties. If that isn't the greatest thing ever, I don't know what is. I really don't. This is the variant cover to Living Legend, which we talked about earlier. It's $15. Oh my god, I love it. I'm going to stare at it for the rest of the night. In fact, you know, we should probably sign off because I'll just sit here and ramble about kitty guns for...
It's true, I've seen him do it.
It's true, but you know what? Cats sell any comic. It's true. Lion Cat, Cat's here, cat gun safety.
Cats are the new gorillas.
That's
you
right.
heard it here first.
Exactly. You get the straight dope here on Comics Should Smell Good. See you guys next week.